Riddle me this. Can a board game replicate the thrills and chills of a high-octane action suspense thriller movie? Can a board game also bring at the same time that real-time strategy that we love in some video games? And how about times with friends and family? Can they really bring us together only to find out that your best friend has locked you in a room to be devoured by an alien because they are too busy living their best lives? It's happened to me once, it's happened to me 1,000 times. Howdy, and welcome back. I'm Mike, your board gaming every dude, and this is Nemesis Retaliation. I have been fortunate enough to receive this prototype from Awakened Realms. It should be noted, they let us know in a letter when it got here that the components are not complete. These are not the final components that you will see in the game. However, the mechanics are near complete. So that is what I will be showcasing in this preview. Why do you need to know about Nemesis Retaliation? Well, if you're watching this right now, it's because you may be considering whether you want to back and buy the game so that it gets made and sent out to you. Or if you're watching this later, it could be to decide whether you want to buy it from a retail store or play it with friends if they have it. That said, even though these aren't the components that will be used in the final game, I do want to say a thank you to those who made it, because apparently they were made locally around the Awakened Realms area over in Poland. Hello, in Poland. And some of these are actually painted, so a thank you to the hand painting and all that went into this. It still looks quite lovely, even if it is unfinished. Some quick credits for you. I get to read these. It is designed by Adam Kwipinski, and it is obviously published by Awakened Realms, known for their miniatures and big games, things like that. Okay, art by Piotr Fakuswitz. I'm so sorry with these names. And two others, Iwa Labak and Patrik Jepradajek. Don't do this to me. Anyway, all those names were involved with Nemesis, Nemesis Lockdown, and now Nemesis Retaliation. This is a 1 to 5 player semi-cooperative game. It's a nice little niche there where you will be working together. You have to work together most of the time, but you may have private objectives that actually pit you against other players or force you to work together, but you don't really know who's on your side. That's the semi-cooperative part. There is also a fully cooperative mode if you prefer that, and there is a solo mode. All right, let me tell you about the game first, show you the game, and then we'll talk about where you can find it if you are interested. If you decide that you're not, I'm glad I could be of help. Uh-oh. Godzilla kitty! And on you, no, don't knock. Oh, buddy. Retaliation is the final entry in the Nemesis trilogy. This is a standalone expansion. You do not need to own the other two. You do not need to ever have played the other two in order to start with this one. It comes with a new cast of characters, all complete with their own special abilities. It also does allow for you to play with characters from the previous games if you would like to do that. In Nemesis Retaliation, you control one character on a team of soldiers entering an alien-infested facility. You are tasked with objectives. During the game, you must choose between fulfilling your mission or your private objective. This may pit players against each other or force them to work together. On your turn, you play cards from a unique 10-hand deck to move through an unexplored facility. Dangers lurk around every corridor and room. You will use special abilities, items, equipment, room abilities, a high-tech robot buddy, and lots of firepower to accomplish your objective and escape the facility alive. Intruders will stand in your way, filling the corridors with hordes of adults, drones, and yes, the Queen. Larvae creep quietly to take you out from within. As you complete your objective, you must use oxygen or manage life support systems. As if you didn't have enough to worry about, once your objective is fulfilled, you must escape the facility and survive. Let's check out how you win and how you lose. To win the game, of course, you have to survive. You have to finish your chosen objective, successfully escape by lander, by going nighty-night in the hibernatorium, or by saying sayonara to everybody in the escape shuttle. Then, if you're contaminated, you'll have to survive an infection procedure. And if you're so unfortunate as to have a larva implanted, you will also have to survive an eclosion procedure. Yay! Alright, let's get a layout of the game. Alright, so you're going to have your map, which is the common area, and you'll see the center of the map is completely empty because we haven't actually made it yet, so we just build the outside frame. Then off to the side, we're going to want to have the Prime Bloods, the Intruders area. And then each player is going to have their own play area with their player board and cards and components. Round structure, please. There are up to 14 rounds, and those are divided into a player phase, an intruders phase, an event phase, and a cleanup phase. Players take turns around and around until everybody passes. On your turn, you're going to take 2 actions. You do this by playing a card face up and resolving its abilities, or by playing a card face down. When you play a card face down, you get to do any of these basic actions listed here, like moving on the map or using items. You can also discard 2 cards face down to use special actions like in a room, or to move carefully and stop stomping around like a fool. Every person does this with their own unique 10-card character deck. There are some common cards in there like Demolition, but then there are, of course, specialized cards that only that character has. Once everybody passes, we go to the ever so wonderful Intruders phase. First, you resolve fires. If there's an intruder in a room that is on fire, like the reactor, which is a really bad place to be on fire, not sure why they just let it sit there, whatever. Anyway, they take damage, and you find out if they survive. Then comes the intruder attack. If an intruder is in a room with a character like this poor medic, I'm so sorry, congratulations, you get an attack. Everybody gets an attack. Resolve the attack. Oh no. Then comes the event phase. We love this part. What wonderful thing do we have? The landing zone explodes. That's awesome. Don't we love that? We simply follow the instructions from top to bottom. This is where the intruders move to new places. How great. Place fire and then place noise. Love it. Get out of here, guys. Then comes bag development. Oh, goody. This must be fantastic. Oh, look, it's a thread. What on earth does that mean? Don't worry. If you can read, you can resolve the token. If you can't read, call a friend. It usually just means you add more terrible tokens to the bag. But I don't want to go back in the dark. Get in there. Now that we're all probably dead, we go to the cleanup phase. Pass the starting player token to the next person. Draw cards up to your hand limit. It's probably 5. Unless you're injured, which you probably are, so it's probably less. And advance the time tracker, because who doesn't like a little time crunch pressure? Let's take a closer look at the characters. Got a whole crew of new characters just for Retaliation. We've got our officer, our heavy gun operator, medical support, combat engineer, recon, and the contractor. The contractor is kind of like the Ellen Ripley of aliens. But we're going with the officer, because that's my dude. Save me, officer! Alright, so each character has their name or title and their rank right here. So you'll see the officer has the highest rank. This will affect some game card choices. You've also got this cool health track. You start healthy until you die. And you're gonna die. And you've got this cool tactical belt that you can fill with an item in each one. Is that food? How? Good gravy. You also have, surprise, 2 hands. A left hand and a right hand, unless one of them gets chopped off by an alien. I'm sorry about that. That's very sad. Anyway, you can put a heavy item in there while you still have it. In either one. Oh yeah, another surprise. You're human, which means you breathe oxygen right here. So you got your little oxygen wheel. You have space for your action cards here and your discard over here. You also have a backpack, which can hold as many items as you like. Duct tape. Against the most deadly creatures in the universe. Yeah, that'll work. Why not? But truly, what is a hero if not a wounded hero? That's right, you can get serious wounds and you just slide them under. It makes life horrible, and there's your injury marker. But congratulations, you can also have heavy armor to protect you. And thankfully, serious wounds can be discarded. So let's be real, you're gonna die anyway. And that lovely build it as you explore map. Let's take a look. There are different sections of the map. So for example, we have sections A. Section A here will hold all section A tiles, as well as any question mark tiles. Ooh, what could it be? Alarm room. Wake up. You'll also see every section has life support. It starts out with no life support. It can be flipped over so that there is life support. When there's no life support and you end your turn in a room in that section, you have to lose 1 oxygen. Take a deep breath, because I'm going in. There's also a section B, same rules. All the B tiles and question mark tiles can go here. And finally, deep into the facility, section C, where you will find somewhere in there the terrifying nest, as well as the queen's eggs, which are kind of cute, honestly. The little squishies, see? It's just a little baby. Section C has life support just like A and B. Every game starts in Section A in the landing zone. Alright, let's break down what's in a room. When you're in there, you can see the types of items that you're able to draw. You can see the room action that you're able to use. You can see the special room action that you're able to use. And some rooms have computers, which will also let you do special things on cards. Also, the letter letting you know what section it belongs in. And sometimes, like the nest, if you're fortunate enough to draw this, has special icons letting you know you can't do lots of stuff. The nest is an especially dreadful room filled with eggs that you can remove and eventually destroy. Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye. Then we've got corridors that connect the rooms. This is where noise markers get placed. This is most often where intruders appear. And some corridors even have doors that can be closed, opened, and destroyed. It's also possible to reinforce a corridor, which just means you flip it over, and now noise can never be placed there. It's great. Whee! I feel so safe now. Doors are pretty great and pretty awful. They're pretty great when there's a fire, because then if the fire spreads, it doesn't spread through the door. Yay, rejoicing. Doors are also really great when there's an intruder coming to get you, because what they do is they destroy the door first. Don't worry, you're going to die on your next turn. Doors are also terrible because they prevent you from being able to escape. Now you're going to die this turn. Night night. I just wanted hugs. Then there's the malfunction marker, because rooms can be broken, just like my soul. When a room's broken, you can't use it until you fix it, just like my heart. Then there's these secure tokens, which are just wonderful because they make you feel all warm and cozy. So when that unexpected visitor comes to raid your fridge, instead of killing you, because that's what people do when they break into your house to steal food from your fridge, right? Then you lose one of these secure tokens instead, and now you are just a little bit less secure. And when you have no secure tokens, it is time to lay down on the couch and tell me about your father. Let's check out how the characters move around in this facility. To move around the map, first of all, pick a direction to go. If there's an intruder in there, congratulations! You get to resolve a surprise attack or an opportunity attack. Whatever, read the text and do the terrible thing. If you survive, or if there's no intruder, skip that nonsense and draw an exploration card. Then follow the text. Place a random corridor in the direction that you're moving. Place the room type it tells you to do, in this case A, and saunter on over with your very best canter. Add hallways where it shows you, yay, and place a noise marker where it tells you to. Then for kicks and giggles, you also get to do the entrance effect. Well, boy howdy, 3 adult intruders just came out of the vents to say, hi friend. And because that wasn't enough fun and party, we get to do a noise roll. Love it. Resolve what it says. Don't know what that means? Don't worry, we've got it right here. If you can read, you can resolve, and if not, that's right, say it with me, call a friend. If you're moving to a room that's already been explored, like this big guy here, don't worry, you still get to do a noise roll, and then resolve. You can always spend an extra card when you're moving in order to do a secure move. Still do everything else, but you get to place a secure token. Oh, I feel so safe now. For noise rolls, you roll the dice and you place a noise marker on any corridor that shares that number. In this case, the number, get back there, the number 1. There is no 1, so we wouldn't place any noise. If it had been a 2, Congratulations. Place a noise marker, and if there's already one there, get rid of it. That's right. And then resolve according to the chart. Usually means you draw a token from the bag, and then a big scary dude's gonna come and say, hi. Hazards are truly unfortunate in that you do the same thing, draw a token, and resolve, but congratulations, they get to be in your room with you. What a party. Stand up. Some dignity, son. So what role do items play? Let's check it out. Remember all those items? That's right. So you've got heavy items that are horizontal. They must go in your left hand or right hand. You've got normal items, which are vertical, and they go in your backpack. And then, of course, you've got armor. You can only have one armor. You've only got two hands. Your backpack is infinite. Every character has a special item just for them. Every character also starts with a support item of their choice, and throughout the game, maybe you'll get more. Then there are your normal items that you get by playing your search card in a room. In this case, if I played my search card, I could draw a green item, a health, and an ammo. I would look at them both, and I would choose one to keep. Discard the other. Some items have tactical gear slots. It'll be a special color, so in this case it's red. You would get to put one ammunition right there. The different types of tactical gear are ammunition, oxygen refill, med pack for healing, and a grenade to say good morning. Some items have ongoing effects, but most are just single use. Discard a card, use the item, get rid of it. There are also other heavy items like an adorable little intruder egg or a human corpse. Well, that got dark. Characters in the same room can always take an action to trade items among each other as many times as they want. Finally, a closer look at the intruders themselves. The Prime Bloods. The real stars of the show, guys. We've got our intruders. We've got our adorable little alien larva right here. What a cutie. Oh, cute bun. And then, of course, like all children, they grow up into this big, scary, meanie adult. But then there are, of course, these even bigger and scarier drones. And finally, that's right, the queen. I tell you, trying to get these guys in a family photo is ridiculous. Just straighten up. There are limits to how many can fit in a corridor, depending on the size. The queen's pretty big, so you can only fit the queen and two others. If you just have adults and drones, why not fill it up to 6? Rooms, however, are huge, so go ahead and fill it up and have a party. Hey, Joe, how's Deborah? Yes, she's doing all right. In order to place intruders, most of the time you're going to be drawing from the intruder bag. You're going to take out a token and place that type. If it's in a corridor, you'll be told how many. In this case, 2 adults, 1 drone. Hey, why not? If they're being placed in a room, you usually just have to look at the top and put one of them. But you've got this sheet to help you. So whatever you do, don't ask me. When instructed to move, the intruders always take the shortest path possible to the nearest character. Hey, stay up. Fortunately, if an intruder is in your room, stand up, sir. There are some special abilities that let you repel. And I'm safe again. Most of the time when an intruder attacks you, all you have to do is flip over and attack card. You do this for adults and drones and queens. You just apply the text for the type of intruder that's in the room with you. But wait! What about the babies, you say? Babies are the only exception. If a cute little baby attacks you, they contaminate you, and then they possess your body. That's right, you get a larva on your player board. It's great. You never have to place more than 1 larva on your character board. It's already there. Thankfully, there are some action cards that have a reaction, which means you can play them anytime, including when you're attacked. That means you get to prevent the attack, so you simply do not draw an intruder, blind blood, whatever, attack card at all. And we love that. How do you attack the Prime Bloods, and where is their health? Let's check it out. If you're in a room with an intruder, and you have a weapon that has ammunition, you get to take a shoot action. You don't have to spend ammo for this. You just use like a little sidearm. You just have to have ammo somewhere, right? Cool. Then you put an injury marker next to the big dude there, and then you get to roll the shoot die. Love it. It's a 4, unfortunately. So, if I had rolled a 1, then he would be dead. It's great. Since it's a 4, I would need to have 4 cubes there. So I failed at that, so I could always shoot again for my second action. Let's do it. Place another one and roll. It's a 4 again. Maybe I should roll better next time. Corridors are different. You can do a burst roll if they're in a corridor. So you're going to spend 1 ammo by flipping your ammo over. Now it's only half full. You're going to roll the burst die, and every number is a hit. In this case, each hit knocks out the intruders, right? So the adults have 1 health when they're in a corridor. The drones have 2 health. Oh my goodness. Larvae, of course, only have 1 health all the time. So that would be 1, 2, boom, and 3 and 4. They're all wiped out. If your weapon references an exclamation mark and you roll that, just do the thing. Well, what if it's a queen in the room or in a corridor? Well, it works exactly the same, except they have a lot more hit points. Don't worry, we're going to get there. You can also do a melee attack, which is not a great idea. I wouldn't do it, but you can only do it if you're in the room with the intruder. Put the little hit marker there, roll your little shoot die, and resolve it just like normal, except, congratulations, you also get to take a contamination card. And if they don't die, they get to hit you back. That's right. You have to resolve a attack card. So basically, just don't do it unless you have no choice. Ah, yes. The Queen. If you should be so lucky as to be in a room with a queen, congratulations. Fight in exactly the same way. Make sure you have a weapon with ammo. Take a shoot action. So put your little marker. You don't have to spend ammo. You just need to have it. Roll your shoot and see. Okay, well, we at least got 1 hit because we got our thingy there. But we didn't kill her, right? Because it would have to be a 1 or less. Keep doing that. And this is going to go up, up, up. If you ever roll a little skull, well, that's great. Then it goes here immediately. Once you get all the way up here, flip over a card. Do what it says. It's going to tell you to discard additional cards or do something else down here. Then you reset the track. Once you discard the final card, the queen is dead. In other words, she's the queen, and she's very, very difficult to get rid of. If you do get rid of her, flip over your little help sheet to "The Queen is Dead." It changes the way the game plays. Pesky little contamination cards. Let's look at those. So what exactly do contamination cards do? Well, one, they increase your chances of dying at the end of the game, but they also just clutter your hand in the meantime, because you cannot use these in order to take actions. You can discard them when you pass. There are ways to get rid of them during the game before the end if you use something like arrest action. Whenever you do that, then any contamination cards in your hand, you put them in this handy dandy little scanner and you read the words. If infected is spelled correctly, yay, you're infected. Put a larva on your board if there isn't already one there, then get rid of the card. If it doesn't say infected, yay, just discard it. If you find yourself with a larva growing inside of you and you don't want it there because you're weird, then you can always go to the surgery room. It's always going to be in Section A if you can find it. And there you can perform that action to surgically remove the larva. And what is this about a robot? What is the robot? There are lots of robots in the game. You're going to randomly draw one of them. And once you discover the hibernatorium, you're going to be able to flip it over. And now you have a cool little robot. And they're supposed to come in 2 parts because there's lots of different robots. They're going to have their own little tactical belt with their cute little items. And if you are ever in a room with a robot, you can spend your cards to make the robot do special little actions. You can also take items from their tactical belt for yourself. If you are not in a room with a robot, but you are in a room with a computer, you can also make that robot do something in another room by discarding cards, like it tells us right here. Because I think this is all way too simple for us, let's also look at the lander and the anti-aircraft protocol machine system thing. So the lander token always starts on turn 10. Whenever the round marker passes onto the lander token, the lander is activated. It's going to attempt to land. However, the facility has anti-aircraft procedures in place. They are shuffled up and randomly placed here. So when it tries to land, you flip over what's on the top. If it's inactive, congratulations, the lander lands. However, if it is active, congratulations, the facility shoots the lander down and it's out of the game for good. You are able to find a control room where you're able to peek at these and change the order. If it lands, put the lander token in the landing zone. It is now there for you to enter. To enter, use the room action by discarding your cards. Follow the instructions. Make your noise roll. Resolve the noise roll, and if an intruder does not appear in the room, you get to enter the lander. Congratulations. From this point forward, you don't pass, but you don't do anything either. You're just sitting in the lander. Why are you still there? Because something bad can still happen. If an intruder enters the landing zone, you are chased out of the lander. You must fight them off and re-enter again. Also, you may want to wait here to let your friends and buddies get in there with you. Or you may see your friends running and be like, I don't want Jeff here, actually. In that case, at the beginning of the event phase, you can choose to take off. You only take off once, and only the people in there take off. Once you take off, you are out of the game. Wait until the end to find out if you won. The escape shuttle is completely separate. Only one person can use the escape shuttle. So to use that, go in the room, do your noise roll. If you're successful and there's no intruders, congratulations. Oh my goodness, you are in the escape shuttle. And the escape shuttle is immortal and everlasting. Absolutely nothing bad can happen to you once you are in there. You pass for the rest of the game until end game resolution. Procedures. I'm sorry, there's no exciting way to introduce that. It's procedures. Let's look at procedures. All right, so you decided to rest, or it's the end of the game and you have to do your infection procedure. Either way, look at the cards in your hand, take out any contamination cards. Oh dear. Scan each one. If it says infected, like that right there, put the larva on your little board. Then discard the contamination card. If there's already a larva, don't do anything other than discard the contamination card. If you scan and it doesn't say infected, congratulations, just discard the card. At the end of the game, and sometimes due to certain events, if you have a larva, you will have to do the eclosion procedure. In this case, you will have to take all your cards in your hand, shuffle them up, and draw 4 randomly. If one of those is a contamination, you die. If none of them are a contamination, you live. If this happens during the game and you die, then an adult spawns in that room in your place. So rude. For the auto-destruct procedure, if you turn this on in probably the cooling room, I think so, maybe, then once you turn it on, take the auto-destruct token and place it 5 spaces ahead of wherever the round marker is. So you're going to have 4 empty spaces. Whenever the round marker finally reaches the auto-destruct, the whole facility blows up. Everybody in it dies. Whoa, earthquake. That means if you ended the game by using the room action to sleep in the hibernatorium and the facility blows up, you're dead. Finally, you've made it this far. How do you escape the facility? You want to escape the facility? Well, you can go to sleep in the hibernatorium. That's right, freeze yourself and hope for rescue to come. Don't worry, they never will. As we saw, you can also escape the facility by entering the lander and flying off into space. You can also escape in the escape shuttle. Whee! You can also escape in eternal sleep. Game over. Let's look at the end of the game. At the end of the game, when the last character either dies or escapes the facility, check to see if you have larvae on your board. If you don't, resolve the infection procedure. If, as a result of that, you end up with a larva, or you had a larva to begin with, then resolve the eclosion procedure. If you survive that, congratulations, you lived. But did you win? Check your objective card. If you completed the objective that you chose, you won the game. Multiple people can win, multiple people can lose. This one's quick. Objectives and the mission task. Every game has one randomly drawn mission task that is common to all the players. Then every character draws one mission objective and one private objective. The mission objective sometimes interacts with the mission task, meaning sometimes you have to do both or you have to make sure that this is not done. The private objective is often more selfish. At any point in the game, You choose which objective you are going to try to complete and discard the other one. When you do that, you get to move the objective choice marker down 1 and draw the number of cards that are listed there. That means if you do it first, you get the most cards. The next person draws less cards, so on and so on. You're stuck with that objective the rest of the game. There's more than one way to play. Here's some additional modes. There's deadly mode, which means more noise and more encounters. There's a solo mode all by yourself. A co-op mode if you want to work together with friends. The only difference being that instead of drawing these regular objective cards, the game is going to have objectives that say solo co-op. To play solo, you have to complete your objective. To win co-op, you have to win everyone's objective and at least one person has to survive. Then there is the optional revive mode, where you take a character who has fallen, would otherwise be dead, carry them as a heavy item to the surgery room, and you can revive them.
Thanks, Bay.
This is a good solution to player elimination. Alright, so you've seen the game. You probably know by now, before I even get to my final thoughts, whether you want to play this game, back this game, buy this game, or not. So if you are interested in it, where do you find it? Well, right now, as of the posting of this video, the Pledge Manager has been reopened on GameFound. So what does all that mean if you don't understand crowdfunding? It's okay, I was there too. A lot of board games are made through crowdfunding using either Kickstarter.com or GameFound.com. This is on GameFound. Just click the link in the description below. It'll take you right there. And what you do is you pledge to back the game at a level that you want. So you can pick like the $60 to $70 version where you get the core game, or a bunch of add-ons and extra and expansions and deluxeifications. Pick the one you want. You pledge to back it. You pay for it. And then later you'll pay for shipping, and then it gets shipped to you. There's always a measure of risk with crowdfunding. Awakened Realms has a perfect track record that I'm aware of, other than shipping things late, which is most campaigns. We'll see if this one ships on schedule. If you're watching this later and you can no longer back or pledge on the GameFound page, or you just want to wait until it hits retail stores, it does say on the site that this will be going retail. So you can check with your local game store, your local hobby store, see if you can find it there. There are other sites like GameSteward.com and other ones like that that will sell games that were crowdfunded that are harder to find later. You'll see if you check out the GameFound page that there is more than this core box, this base game. There's the expansions, and actually I have been sent the Neo Flesh Cult expansion, the Shirian expansion, as well as a characters expansion, and then acrylic tokens for the first two games, Nemesis and Lockdown. If you would like to see any of those in detail, let me know in the comments. I'm going to see if there's interest in this, and maybe we can break those open and look into those as well. My final thoughts on this experience. First of all, as a disclaimer, I'm a big Nemesis fan. I absolutely love the first two games. I see flaws in them, and I've made videos on it that you can see where I've given my critiques on things that I would like to see improved. So how does this one stand up? Well, this is a prototype, and I'm only a couple plays in, but it is a near complete, mechanically complete prototype. And I will say, this is the one. This is the one. They have improved upon the mechanics that worked very well in the previous games, or if they worked fine, they just left it. It runs very similar. But the pacing is better, I feel. There is always tension, and it builds in a very logical way without a lot of sporadic highs and lows. Also, when you fire at an intruder, it always hits, and that feels good. I was skeptical about not having a board and having a build-a-board like this, but I gotta say, it's actually a lot more exciting. Though this is, by all means, a heavy game with a lot of moving parts and a lot going on, it feels like they've streamlined the Nemesis system so that this one, though I still had to consult the rulebook a couple times on my first couple plays, it just has a more natural flow. Everything feels tighter. There is still swing. That's a part of the thrill of the game. However, I feel that Lockdown had less swing than Nemesis, and I feel that this has just a little less swing, than Lockdown. It, just like the previous two games, does have quite the setup time as you have quite a few parts. This is the first to offer a more affordable version of the game. So you can get the cardboard standee version for $60 to $70. That makes me so happy because you don't actually need all of the miniatures. I think they're lovely, they're wonderful, and I'm glad to have them when I can get them. But if you can get the game for cheaper and enjoy it, that's so much better. Still, this is a game that you will likely fail as often as you succeed, or maybe even more often. I failed at my first game. I actually succeeded in my second game. Sometimes things out of your control are going to happen due to other players, or if you're playing solo, just to events that happen within the game. If you don't like unexpected occurrences, this will definitely not be for you. If you do not enjoy strategy, this will not be for you. There's a lot of strategy and planning ahead and then adjusting your strategy when plan A through Z fails. When playing multiplayer, it is all about the interaction with the other players. So if you don't want that, or if you don't like the betrayal mechanic, then you may want to play cooperative. If you don't like cooperative either, then this will not be for you. Cooperative is more cooperative, but it's also more challenging. So end of the day, this is quite likely going to be my favorite of the trilogy. And if I were to recommend a starting point for anybody, I think I would actually pick this one. So, my honest final thoughts. No, this was not a paid video. The prototype was sent to me. Do with that what you will. I can't wait to see your questions and comments below. Remember, if you enjoy this, please hit the like button. Let me know that you like it. If you want to see more of this, hit the subscribe button. I'm always here. My favorite thing is interacting in the comments or during our lives that we have every month. I love you all. I'll see you next time. I winked, you just couldn't see it, but it was there.